I'm Debbie with Moms for America.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hello, everybody. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. President,
Thank you.
for meeting with the Moms for America podcast
Right.
here. We're just thrilled to be here. So thanks. I know how busy you are, and you're really so
Thank you very
special
much.
to us. So let's get into this here. You spoke at the March for Life, and you talked about how moms were heroes, and the crowd went wild. Why are moms heroes to you?
Because they do everything. They are so incredible. You look at, I hate to use the word statistics, but statistically, where you have a great mom, you have a great young woman or young man. It just works out that way. And dads are very important also, but
Right.
that mom is so special. And taken people that really would have had a rough time and made them super.
Yeah.
Made them tremendously successful. The love, whatever it is, there's a lot of ingredients. You know, moms do a lot of things that people don't think about, and maybe it's the little things that count, but very special. My mom was very special people.
Did your mom ever think that you would become president of the United States? I've always wanted to ask that question to you.
Probably not, but you know, every once in a while she'd say, oh, you should do that, but no, I don't think so. But she was a great mom, very loving mom, a very good person.
One of our other favorite moms is Melania. How is Melania?
She's great. She's doing a tremendous job with my son, who's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
He's a good tall guy, too, very tall.
How tall is he now?
I'd say 6'8".
Oh my goodness.
So he's up there, right?
Yeah.
But he's a great young man, and he's a very good student. And I think he's doing a good job, Barron. I think he's doing a very good job.
He's 17 now, Barron, right?
Yes.
Okay, so at about 4 years old, there's that CNN interview with him, and it was the cutest thing ever because you said to him, listen, no drugs, right?
Right.
No alcohol, no cigarettes, straight A's, no tattoos. Are those words the advice that you're still sharing with your grandchildren now?
Well, I do. And the tattoos, I think, are in a little different category. You know, you have people with personal preference, that's their
Right.
preference. But no drugs and no cigarettes. And it's just, in the old days, I had a brother who was a fantastic guy. He'd look at me and say, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. But actually, the drugs was much later, really, because if you look at drugs today, it's like today so much is drugs,
right.
less is alcohol. Cigarettes I always add in. It's not a positive thing.
Right.
And if they can avoid it, that's a great thing. But I would tell my kids before they'd see them every day, I'd say no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. And
Yeah, so important.
Ivanka would say sometimes, Dad, I know what you're going to say, Dad. Please don't say it. And I think it had an impact.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look at your kids. They're stellar,
You know,
amazing.
when you have one of your children or your children on drugs, it just puts them at such a disadvantage.
Right.
It's you got to keep them away, and it's much easier to keep them away. Once they get hooked, that's a whole different ball game. But when you preach to them before they
Right.
get addicted,
Right.
because that's what it is. It's an unbelievable chemical addiction and mental addiction and everything else. It's just so much easier. If they don't start, it's so much easier.
Right, that's it. And you're doing such a great job, and you always have concerned with the fentanyl and the drugs coming across the border. Thank you for what you've done to make our country great, and unfortunately now it's all being reversed.
Now it's been reversed at a level that nobody's ever seen. People are flowing
Terrible.
in, drug dealers are flowing in. I was working on a deal, would have happened very quickly with China. They were not going to make it. They were going to make it part of the death penalty if they make it in China and put it here. Once I was out, nobody ever picked that up. Most of it, the fentanyl, is made in China.
Right.
But you have other drugs coming in too. And we had the border the strongest it's ever been. Now it's the weakest it's ever been.
It's terrible.
In 3 years, it's gone from being the strongest. We're the strongest border we've ever had. Human trafficking, largely women.
Right.
I mean, you talk about moms. I mean, human trafficking, what's worse? And it's mostly women. And we had that at the lowest point it was in 51 years. We had everything really in great shape in this country. And now it's just so sad to see.
Yeah. Let's talk about education too, right? 50 million students are in public education system. They have become indoctrination centers, and they are filled with inappropriate materials. What would you do to help us with education?
Well, we're going to end that, and these indoctrination programs are out of control.
Right.
And we're ending it. It's just like, men and women's sports and sexual mutilation of children. Who would think that we'd have to talk about sexual mutilation of children? If you go back 10 or 15 years and somebody said that, you wouldn't even know what they're talking about. And now it's actually a point in a campaign where you have to talk about it. And many people on the other side think it's okay. I mean, we're not talking for our health. People think it's okay. The sexual mutilation of children, think of it, that we actually have to put that down as a talking point. Or men will not be playing in women's sports. We have to put that down as a talking point.
Right.
Who would ever think you'd allow men to play in women's sports?
No.
So the world has gone crazy, but this country has gone crazy.
It sure has. And those are two huge issues that the moms are talking about all the time. Gender confusion, right? It's like you said, it's an all-time high.
Right.
So thank you so much that you're going to help protect our children, because
We will
it is
do
horrific.
And we'll do it fast, too. We'll sign orders left and right. We'll do it fast. It's gone totally out of control.
It has.
And what I don't understand, who could think this is good?
No one.
Who could think, unless you're trying to destroy our country, who could think this is good?
Parental rights really goes on the hand in hand with this. Moms are so concerned about their parental rights, right? If they go to a school board meeting, they're a domestic terrorist. If they don't agree with something, then all of a sudden their children may be taken away. How will you protect
So
parental
that's
rights?
a third category. You talk about parental rights.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't think that, like, you have parental rights, we are with you for parental rights?
Right.
Again, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you wouldn't have to talk about that. Of course you have parental rights. Today they take away your parental rights.
They are.
And I think the Republicans are going to do very well in this coming election. If we don't win the election, the presidential election of 2024, I think it's going to be the most important election in the history of our country. I think our country is going to be essentially finished.
That's what we're hearing all across the country. The moms are, I hate to say
Well, they
this
have to
word,
vote
but
for
terrified.
Trump. They have to vote for Trump. Look, the Republicans talk in terms of religion. They're going after the Catholic Church. They're going after Protestants. They're going after evangelicals. They're going after so many groups. It's not even possible to think this way. And then you'll have Catholics, as an example, where they're really, something happened. I'm saying, what did they do wrong? But they're going after Catholics at a level that nobody's seen before in this country. Now, why would a Catholic vote for a guy like Biden?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. But I think we're going to win. And if we don't win, big trouble.
I think you're going to win too. Mandates and the COVID vaccine mandates, they're back in discussion now. What would that be under your administration?
So
You'll protect us, I know, with those
yes,
mandates.
Absolutely. And the mandates are gone, and the mask mandates are gone. All of the mandates are gone. It's got to be choice. You have to have choice. Some people want to do this. They want to take the vaccine, and other people don't. And you have to have choice. And feeding it to children where they don't need it to anywhere near the extent, but really, essentially, they don't need it, is absolutely crazy. So the mandates are gone. There'll be no mandates. We let governors make those decisions, which is the federalist system, which is the way it should be. And a lot of Republican governors got it right. They didn't do the big closures, and if it was closed for a much lesser period of time. South Carolina was great, and South Dakota was great, and some of the states were absolutely great, and some didn't do as well. The ones that did really poorly, though, were the Democrat-run states. They shut down everything, and their numbers were the same or worse, which is sort of, you would think that wouldn't be possible, actually. They would have a shutdown that was incredible, and their numbers were worse. So, no, some of our Republican governors did a fantastic job.
Yeah. The economy. Moms are figuring out what to do. Can they buy a gallon of milk or a gallon of gas?
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty bad.
It is so bad. It's
So
incredible. I'm going shopping. My grocery bill is tripled.
Yep. We're going to be drilling like you haven't seen before. We're going to get the energy down. When the energy comes down, everything else is going to... It's such a big category. Yeah. That's what started the inflation. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks up countries. You go back 200 years, 300 years, and you take a look. Inflation is a country buster. And we had the worst inflation in 72 years. And what we're doing is we'll be getting the energy prices way down. Everything else is going to follow. Interest rates are going to follow. You'll be able to buy a house again. A lot of good things are going to happen. Food prices will start coming down, too. And, when they say, oh, gee, we only have 4 or 5% inflation now, First of all, they're not adding certain categories to that. But most importantly, when you take a look at what they're saying and what they're doing, everything is the opposite of what it should be. Every single thing they do is the opposite. So we're going to get the energy cost down, other things are going to follow, and interest rates, very importantly, will follow.
What about family? You talk a lot about the importance of family, how important it is to you. How can we restore our families again, give them hope? America's built on the family unit.
Yeah, family and God.
Yeah.
Okay, you take a look at religion where it's just not, COVID I think probably hurt it badly, but it's just not what it was. When people have that feeling of God, they want God in their lives, it just works out a lot better.
It is.
It also
really
works
is.
out better for a country.
Right, faith, family, and freedom. That's it.
It's true. It's true. No, family's a very important thing. You people do a great job. I mean,
Thank you.
It's really, what you've done is amazing.
How do you do this? Where do you draw your strength from? We're talking about faith. How do you do this every day? How do you get up and fight for every single one of us?
It's probably the biggest question I get. The second biggest would be, they're not going to be allowed to do it again. Okay, you know what that means. Okay, that's number two. But number one is, how do you do it? One of the reasons is that I have the highest poll numbers people have virtually ever seen. You're beating these people by 60 points, and we're beating Biden by a lot. And that gives us hope, because if we take over the country from the standpoint of winning the election of 2024, it's all going to be okay. We're going to make it, not only make America great again, we're going to make it better than ever before. And we're going to get rid of the horrible people, some of these people, from prisons, from mental institutions. They're coming in from prisons, mental institutions, and many terrorists. We're going to get them out. It's going to be a mass deportation and get them out. And we're getting them back to their countries where they came from. Many of them right out of jails and prisons. So if we win this election, which we have to, I don't think we have a choice, we're going to make our country great again, and maybe better than ever before.
And safety is another huge issue for moms. We're just, it's troubling times to raise a family. Would you just share some words of encouragement to our moms, some hope? Because I know that you're talking about saving America, and we need to hear from you some great encouraging words, because we need it.
If you're in a good system, if we get what we're getting, where we have proper people coming into our country legally, if we get the prisoners and the people, murderers, drug deals pouring into our country, we get them out, our system is good, the chances of a mom being successful are much greater, and it's much easier. Otherwise, it's a very difficult thing for a mom. If we're in a bad system, and that system is turning very bad right now with Biden and these people, it's turning Marxist and fascist and communist. It's a horrible system. They go after political opponents, all of the things they do. But when we get it going, it's going to make it a lot easier for moms, and that's what I want to do.
Well, thank you, President Trump. We blessings to you, and thank you for taking time with the Moms for America podcast. We do appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
Great honor. Thank you.
Thank you.